Okay, so this is part 3 of reflections on atheism. I don't know if it's going to be just a 3-part series. This could just keep going, because just keep talking, I guess. I've been reading a lot about this over the past, month or two. Just staying in touch with atheists and talking on the atheist communities. So, I guess we were just talking about, religion evolves because people evolve. And this is a very, well, a lot of other terminologies and concepts come up when you mention that. Well, how have we really evolved? And there's different philosophical rifts between between these two views. We evolve, we don't evolve, etc. Basically, the gist of it is that as time has gone on, societies have overall, and not just individual societies, but human beings as a whole, we have tended to become more complex over time. And now, with this complexity, we have brought so many different types of philosophies and sciences and religions, but the general trend is as spirituality, as societies evolve, the spiritual practices within them tend to evolve as well. And it's not exactly linear, it's very chaotic, it's not linear, I guess you can call it exponential. It's not linear, but exponential, because we have tons of things going on at once that don't seem to make much sense, but they often eventually emerge a new or higher form of spirituality in response to some kind of greater conflict in society. Um, but basically, what we have is an evolution of religion to the point where you can't exactly pinpoint religion as one thing alone and then dismiss that one thing, because this is the general attempt that atheists try to do. They try to say religion is one thing. It is the primitive worship of deities in ancient societies before we had any scientific knowledge. Now, this is only partially true, because within any religion in any age, there are the more literal belief systems that are given so people can understand the world around them, and they may be false, rightly so. And then there are the other interior experiences that religion always has had, despite any age. And these direct contemplative experiences don't necessarily apply to um, basically incorrect scientific knowledge. For instance, we don't worship the sun anymore, and this still okay. So we don't worship the sun, but while worshiping the sun, our ancestors might have had some kind of spiritual inkling about it. They might have felt something direct about this, some kind of spiritual presence, some kind of energy, some kind of intuition, and it allowed not only for the literal worship of the sun. They interpret it as the literal worship of the sun. Oh, I feel the sun's energy. Is the sun our god wrathful, etc. They might interpret the literal aspects and act on those because they're the traditions. But the interior experience of this is not just a belief; it is actually an experience. So I guess what we're coming down to is spirituality is not just a belief system; it is a direct experience of human beings. It's like an emotion. It's an attitude. It's a mindset. And it is an emotion as well. And in sociology, we've learned that there are a few different ways to reduce religion or see religion as. One is, as we've been saying, the primitive society. Another one is the functional aspect of religion. In sociology, we've at least alleviated religion as being not completely irrelevant or useless. It actually is a form of social cohesion, which keeps a society together, which gives it meaning, which gives it it's a function. It's sort of like the glue. It's a structure of a society. It bonds people under common beliefs and actions, and to a degree, this is true as well. So we have two things so far. It was used in primitive societies as a way to answer deeper questions about reality, and it's also functionally important. I guess a question to the modern atheist would be, what what are we going to be using in what are we going to be using to give people meaning? And without spirituality, without a religion to sort of come together and commune under. And the answer is, I mean, personally, the only thing I can think of to respond to that is another religion and more spiritual forms of religion. And by that I mean, we don't, as a society, adhere to strict doctrine anymore, but we still adhere to general concepts and ideologies. So, to a degree, I think religion will always sort of be around to kind of bring people together, um, but not as strongly as it used to, not by a long shot. I mean, if you look at a lot of European nations, they're mostly non-believers, as a general term. I don't know if they all proclaim themselves as atheists, but in England and a lot of Western Europe, a lot of people don't follow religion anymore, not organized religion. So I don't think this is necessarily negative. I think it's kind of actually positive. Um, nobody's, well, not nobody, but a lot of people aren't fighting over different belief systems in that way. But besides that, we have functionalism and primitivism as two meanings for religion. Third is the actual interior meaning of religion, the actual direct experience that people have in religion. They interpret it differently. There's the interpretation. This is often called hermeneutics. This area of spirituality, of religion in general, often is the hardest to write off, because you cannot dismiss religion as just being a delusion. You can't dismiss it as being pointless, because it has a function in society. It had a function in ancient societies, and in tribes and cultures, and now it has a direct experiential meaning that when an atheist goes up to somebody who has a direct spiritual experience and says, this is nothing, well, to the contrary, it's something. It's a direct feeling or a thought or attitude or experience, and not all of it can be explained, but it's something more than just a function of society, or a byproduct, or some sort of other thing. So there's this interior aspect of religion that is very important, and we can't write off. And there are deeper aspects of religion, such as the mystics and the sages, who've had very profound mystical experiences which actually have helped societies become less violent. So as much as they've been catalysts and been used for societies to become aggressive and violent towards each other, they have also been used as ways to alleviate that violence and to sort of not only tame the common people, to give them some kind of order and structure so they don't all kill each other. And I'm not saying religion is the only way to do this, but religious and spiritual connotations are often written into ethics and morals. They've been able to sort of turn people away from violence towards each other. Not always, but I'm saying they have been. For instance, in Buddhism, the Bhagavad Gita as well. And they've been able to sort of turn the person inwards and help them let go of their violent tendencies through some kind of transformative practice. They wish to transform the person. Karen Armstrong is good if you want to learn about this aspect. They've been able to transform the person to be less prone to violence, to actually not wish to harm their neighbor, to actually see other as self. And this is more of a philosophy, if you want to argue and play with the terminology. This is more of the philosophical aspect of spirituality. It actually attempts to redefine not only the concept of ourselves, but the way we act and the way we think of ourselves. So it wishes to actually transform our identity to something that's much more agreeable. And it's not a way of turning off the mind, but of actually turning it on, and then going inwards and exploring who we are. And I guess I'll continue in the next